Alright, so for my 5 minute demo lesson, I will be talking on a popular topic, which is the subject verb agreement. The subject verb agreement. Now, I would like to talk about two things. First one being subject, second one being the verb. Right. Now, a subject is usually the performer of the action in a sentence, and the action is usually the verb. Right now, so the subject could either be a noun or a pronoun. For example, let's say we're given a sentence. The preacher is innocent. Or the preacher preaches well. Right. The preacher preaches well. Let's use this first. Right. Now the subject in this sentence is the preacher, right? Which is a noun phrase because of the determiner the, right? But then the noun itself is preacher, right? So because it is preceded by the antecedent the, we call it a noun phrase. But alone, preacher alone is a noun, right? A common noun. Now, so like we said, this is the noun, which is also the subject. He is the one performing the action. Now, you would ask me, what's the action in this sentence? Preaches. It shows an action. It's just like saying, oh, the teacher teaches well. Right now I'm teaching, which means I'm performing an action. So the preacher preaching is also performing an action, yeah? So thus preaches would be the what? The verb, right? So this is the subject, this is the verb. Alright, now that is broken down. Now let us now look at what we mean by subject verb agreement in itself. Now when we talk about something agreeing, that is uh, there is no disagreement. Right, so it's like saying there is no problem between them, right? So we'll talk about subject verb agreement. That is the subject, which is the preacher. The preacher. Oh, my handwriting is okay. The subject, which is the preacher, and the verb preaches. Now they agree in 10, in number, right? Now the preacher is singular, one person, right? Singular noun. I'll write like that. I'll write that in SN, singular noun. Right? That means the verb must also be in the singular verb, right? SV, right? So it's, for example, if we have two preachers, the preachers, Now, due to the fact that we have a plural noun, preachers, more than one, two, three, or more preachers. So that means the verb that is coming after must also be in the plural form. That is what it means for the subject and verb to agree. Singular subject, singular verb. Plural subject, plural verb. Right. So here we have the plural subject, the preachers. So naturally, the verb that comes should also be in the plural form. The preachers preach well. Not the preachers preaches well, or the preacher preach well. The preacher preaches well. The preachers preach well, right? So singular subject, singular verb, plural subject, plural verb, right? Now there is a whole debate. Now what do you call it debate? There is a whole misunderstanding, right? It's kind of a misunderstanding among students, right? And that is when we talk about, subject. How do we recognize plural verbs? How do we recognize plural nouns, right? Now I'll quickly rush through that because of time. Now, singular noun will not take s, that is minus s. So we have boy, man. Oh, although man is an irregular, it will take an irregular plural, but yeah, man will be men, right? So you know what? Let me just erase that. so as not to cause confusion. All right, so boy, preacher, bag. All right, so because these are singular, they don't take s, minus s. All right, but then plural nouns, they will take s because more than one. Boys, preachers, bags, you know, plus s. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm still in the call. Yeah, plus s. Now, so in by extension, so there's this rule of this inverse rule, I like to call it. Now, so that means for since singular noun will not take s, so that means that means singular verb on its own would take s. Singular verb would take s plus s. For example, walks, walks, smiles, smiles, runs, runs, right? And then plural verb will not take s. Remember the inverse rule, right? Plural verb will not take s. So walks, so it will become walk, smile, run. The men walk to work. The boys smile coldly. The children run to school daily. Now for singular, the man walks to work. The boy smiles coldly. The child runs to school daily. Now that is a simple breakdown of, I would call it an introduction into subject verb agreement, right? So that's the introduction to subject verb agreement, right? Thank you so much once again, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you so much.